operating the system. System initialization and operation is quite simple. At first, a new or reprocessed humidification chamber is to connect to the central unit by just pushing it from front to rear until it is locked in to the humidifier base. See that you don't squeeze any cable or tubing. In order to fill the chamber later on with water, a supply of demineralized sterile water is to be suspended at an adequate height above the humidifier. It is to connect via a common infusion line to the lure lock connector of the humidification chamber. Make sure that the line is kept kink-free, allowing for free water flow. When connecting the ventilatory tubing to the system, it is absolutely imperative to check that the Humicare200 is exclusively interconnected with the inspiratory limb. Otherwise, the patient would be ventilated with dry gas. Often, the ventilator's inspiratory and expiratory connectors are of equal diameter and prone to interchange, so do verify carefully. In case of using a heated expiratory tubing, its ending with the cable attached must be connected to the ventilator's expiration connector. The electrical cable is quite short in order to minimize the danger that the expiratory tubing is connected the wrong way. Attach the plugs of the ventilatory tubings to the corresponding jacks at the sidewall of the central unit. Note the color coding. Don't forget to electrically disconnect any heated but not ventilated expiratory tubing in order to avoid any damage due to overheating. Here are some more things to keep in mind while working with the respiratory tubings. Heated tubings are not allowed to directly touch the patient's skin. We recommend the use of a ventilator circuit holder. Don't squeeze or kink the tubing. Do not cover by blankets, puppets, toys, etc. In order to avoid damage to the tubings, during mounting or demounting, never pull the tubing itself, but the end fittings. Operating the system. As customary with medical devices, check all instructions according to the operation manual prior to operation of any system, including the ventilator. Before switching on HumiCare200, open the infusion line's rate limiter fully to allow for automatic filling of the humidification chamber. Venting the infusion line before connecting ensures proper filling of the humidification chamber. If the chamber is being used for the first time or following reprocessing, please check the humidification chamber's valve mechanism function. After 3 to 5 minutes, the filling of the chamber should be completed. The cessation of water flow from the water reservoir after this period indicates that the valve is functioning properly. The maximum amount of water required to fill an empty chamber must not exceed 400 milliliters. Water flow into the humidification chamber that has automatically stopped indicates that the integrated leveling valve is intact and functional. Now you may switch on the system by means of a short on-off keystroke. The system will begin its self-test. Having passed the self-test, the recirculation pump will start rotating. In the case whereby the humidification chamber was empty prior to starting the sequence, an additional 50 to 100 ml of water will flow from the water supply into the chamber. This is the supplementary amount of water needed to fill the recirculation channels. Having finished its self-test and started the recirculation pump, the system is operating to achieve target temperature, indicated by the blinking of the green status LED. The mode indicator will indicate the selected operation mode, for instance 37 degrees centigrade intubation mode, as was already shown in the video sequence. In order to change the operation mode, just press the mode key repeatedly for at least 2 seconds until the desired mode is indicated on the display. Note that in user-defined mode, you may freely select the target temperature between 25 and 39 degrees centigrade. Standard mode for invasive ventilation, be it via endotracheal tube or tracheal cannula, is thus 37 degree intubation mode. Other applications like non-invasive ventilation with a face mask may need less humidification. Mode selection is at the physician's discretion. Having reached target temperature and parameters, the green LED is constantly lit, indicating a properly working system. For the user, it is easy to recognize if the system is working properly. 3 LEDs are lit: the green status indicator, the modus indicator, and the power on LED. In addition, the actual temperature of the water within the humidification chamber is displayed corresponding to the delivered degree of humidification. During operation, the only thing the operator has to do is to ensure that the humidification chamber's water supply has not run out. HumiCare200, however, will remind you well in time to change bottles or bags. Check repeatedly for water in the tubings. The user manual gives hints for possible causes and countermeasures. If desired, a longer stroke of the alarm suppression key will give supplementary status information. By default, the following information is given in sequence: temperature unit of measurements, here degree centigrade, gas temperature near the patient, number of days left until next recommended reprocessing of the chamber is due, number of days left, total lifetime, in case a multi-use chamber is used. The user-defined mode allows the user to select target temperature as follows. Press the alarm suppression and mode keys simultaneously for a short moment. The system will display the momentary target temperature. Target temperature may now be changed pressing either the alarm suppression or the mode key. Acknowledge your selection by shortly pressing the on-off key. Otherwise, the system will continue operation with the original set temperature. In order to switch off the system, hold the on-off key until the system shuts down. If you want to remove the humidification chamber from the humidifier, remove the ventilatory tubing first. Then carefully pull the humidification chamber in order to loosen the snap-in fixation. Keep pulling until you can remove the chamber from the central unit. It is easier to remove the chamber if you simultaneously hold the central unit's rear with one of your hands. Be careful. Removing the chamber is easy. Never use excessive force, otherwise the system may be damaged. As soon as the humidification chamber is removed, it should be reprocessed or disposed. Practical hints. Here are some helpful hints for the use of the HumiCare200 in practice. Let's start with the mounting of the system. We strongly recommend to choose the type of mounting which is ideally suited for the individual work environment, giving maximum operator comfort